And welcome back, rugby fans, to Rugby411. As always, I'm your host. My name is Joshua Shibata, and this is our Week 5 MLR SuperBru Pick'em. Uh, it's gonna be a fun week, our weekend of games. 5 games this week. We get one team on a bye, and that's gonna be 6 games this weekend. Back to our usual 6, and we're gonna have one team on the bye, and that's the Toronto Arrows. Finally getting a break, though. From what I understand, it's really cold in Toronto, so I don't know how much of a break they're going to get, but a break nonetheless. Let's go over this week's slate of games. I'll admit, quite a few predictable ones, but there are going to be one in particular that's going to be really hard to call. And actually, one that's going to be here that I'm going to kind of make a shot in the dark just because, as we'll see later on in our leaderboard, I'm not doing so hot this time around. So got to make some desperate decisions to try to get a lead and try to pick up some points. So let's start. We're back to Friday night rugby, which is always great. Friday, March 4th, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so kind of a late game for the East Coast fans. We have NOLA Gold going to Starfire Stadium to battle the Seawall and the Seattle Sea Wolves. Kind of a no question win for me in this case for Seattle. NOLA is not looking so great, and Seattle has rebuilt the wall, and they're looking very dominant back home in Starfire. So I feel that's going to be a pretty comfortable one-sided win. Then we move on to Saturday, where we have a bunch of games. Saturday, March 5th, starting at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Houston's going over to the Silverback Stadium to play against Rugby ATL, coming off of their bye. This is going to be an interesting game because it's going to kind of show exactly who Houston is. Remember, we had that big upset with Houston in Week 1, taking down a phenomenal top caliber team in the LA Guiltinis. Rugby ATL is another one. Can Houston do it again after looking a little shaky in recent weeks? I think not. I think Rugby ATL will handle this one as well. Home field advantage and everything. So I give it to them. Now, the next game. This is going to be interesting. Definitely going to try to catch this one on the Rugby Network, which again, if you want to watch any of these MLR games, all free and later on demand, check out the Rugby Network, a great app. It's absolutely free for all Android and Apple iOS systems. Check them out. You can watch this game, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Dallas Jackals, hard luck Dallas Jackals, going over to Zion Stadium to play against the Utah Warriors. Now, this is going to be between two teams who are looking for their very first win. And you know what? This is one of those where I'm just going to have to go for it because I'm so far behind in points. And I feel, if you saw my video with my power rankings, I feel this game and next week are the 2 games that Dallas could possibly win. One, if not both. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Jackals finally getting the win that they deserve, going over to Utah. And, Utah's just haven't found it. They need to find what it is that made them such a dangerous team last season, and they're missing it. Don't know what it is. But I think Dallas will finally get that hard-earned win that they deserve. All right, and moving on, the last game on Saturday night. It's a big one. Saturday, March 5th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is the namesakes going against each other, stepbrothers, if you will, the reigning and defending MLR champions, the LA Guiltinis, taking on the number 1 team, arguably the number 1 team in MLR right now, the Austin Gilgronis. This is another one that on paper I have to go with Austin. So far, they are looking like the dominant team. They are looking like the LA Guiltinis of last season. LA is definitely not looking like the team they were last year. A good win against Toronto, a struggling win against the Free Jacks, a disappointing loss against Houston. We know if you follow the LA Guiltinis, they struggle with away games. Just it's adding up to Austin taking the win here. But again, I gotta go for some points. I feel a lot of people are going to go against the Guiltinis. I was actually kind of surprised how many people were going for the Guiltinis with the Free Jacks. It felt like a lot of people were counting them out. But on SuperBru, a lot of people went with the Guiltinis, so that didn't help me at all. So I'm going with my heart instead of my head. And I'm going with my LA Guiltinis to pull off the upset win and taking down the #1 team in MLR. It could happen. It could happen. And then we have a doubleheader on Sunday, March 6th, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have the New England Free Jacks going over to Rugby United, or now they're known only as Rugby New York, at the JFK Stadium. Arguably the #2 ranked team in the MLR, going against the Free Jacks, who just suffered a heartbreaker of a loss against the Guiltinis. I feel with their struggles against the Guiltinis, they're definitely going to struggle with New York. New York has looked as good as Austin, and so I'm giving that one to New York to continue on their streak. And then the final game of week number 5, we have Old Glory DC going over to San Diego State University to take on the surging San Diego Legion. Old Glory is definitely looking like the worst of the pack, unfortunately. So I am going for San Diego to pick up the win on this one. And that rounds up week number 5 with the picks. Let's move on and take a look at last week's, I sigh because I did not do so well, last week's SuperBru picks and our leaderboard update. So as you can see from last week's picks, man, all J Long is just running away with the competition. 8 huge points. He got all the picks correct. Also got a Grand Slam point or 2. Completely dominating the SuperBru competition so far. Coming in second is Harry. Then we have MSDR FC 83 in third. Rugby Gamer 96, hey, good job, man. He came in a little bit late into the pool. He's coming in 4th. And then we have a bunch of people in 5th. SDCA guy, SD Cal guy, Tex, Paco Boy 7. And then, hey, Frisco, look at you, man. Good job. Got in 5th on the week. So I'm not even in the top 5, so that just shows you how bad my picks were for last week. Let's now switch over to the leaderboard. And as you see again, all J Long, right up there, dominant with 34.5. Scary Larry trying to make his way back up in second, along with Harry, who moved up 2 spots because of this week's picks, or last week's picks, as well as MSDR FC 83. And then in 5th, I dropped, unfortunately, 3 spots to number 5, and Aguera is tied with me. We're with 23 points. So, man, looking like all J Long, it can do no wrong so far, being pretty dominant in the top spot. But again, lots of time left. It's still a long season. Anything can happen. Scary Larry could easily come back because he's pretty good at these games. Harry, this MSDR FC 83 could do it as well. So we'll see what happens. But again, as always, thank you very much, guys, for joining in the pick'em pool. Thank you for the few people that are coming in later in the game. I mean, that's great. Again, you can come in at any time. Technically, you can come in now if you want to. The winner at the very end gets a MLR t-shirt of their favorite team, courtesy of me. So good luck to everybody right now. Looks like all J Long is going to pick out a t-shirt that he wants. So let's see if anybody can stop him. And we'll just take it from there. Again, thank you very much, guys, for joining into the pool. Thank you very much, guys, for watching the video. And if you do join in, just remember, we do have a game Friday night, so you need to get your picks in early before Friday if you want all the possible points for the week. Once again, thank you very much, guys, for checking out my video, and I will see you guys on the pitch.